Welcome to Jumpers for Goalposts, your weekly non-league show for the Midlands. We're here at the Coppice Colliery Ground, home of Heath Hayes Football Club, and we'll be talking to John Deans and John Simkin shortly. Going to start off with the FA Trophy from last weekend, and Stafford Rangers bowed out of the competition at Gainsborough Trinity. How? Only Gainsborough will know. Here are the highlights. Disappointing defeat there for Stafford Rangers, but their performance warranted at least a second attempt to get through. Stourbridge and Hereford had excellent wins in the FA Trophy, beating higher ranked opposition. And how about AFC Telford United? A certain Sylvan Ebanks-Blake, yes, the guy that was top of the championship scorers for the Wolves, made his debut, scored twice, the first two, in a 4-2 win there for AFC Telford. Going to go into the evo-stick Premier Division. Weren't many games last weekend because of the FA Trophy. Let's see how Halesowen Town got on when they went to Matlock Town.
Well, this is the biggest thing to ever this, isn't it? She just ran exactly where you took it from anyway. So, don't know what. There's no point appealing that really.
This weekend, full range of fixtures in the evo-stick Premier League. Locally, there are home games for Kozel Town, for Stafford Rangers and for Sutton Coldfield Town, but my pick of the week locally is not far from here. It's at Keys Park, where Hensford Town will play Farsley Celtic. Into the evo-stick South now, and Baseford United continue to steamroller the opposition. They're having a fantastic run. Former Midland League champions, have to mention that. They travel to Romulus at Coles Lane. Let's see the goals from that stunning victory.
Phoebe, don't do that. Look at that. How fucking disgraceful. The ball was played! You won't even up again! You won't even up again! You won't even up again! Harry, come in here! Well played, good lad, good!
So a good win there for Baseford, and they're going to take some stopping at the top of the table. Alvechurch are second in the league. They took on Newcastle Town at Lye Meadow. Here are the highlights, but you tell me whether those 2 goals should have been disallowed. I'm not having a go at the refs, but you tell me whether those goals should have been disallowed. I say they shouldn't.
Quality. Still ain't got him with straight. Fucking win it again. Ricky, come on! Come on, Danny. Put it in the box. Fuck off, man! Hey, referee! Hey, you saw that? Hey, going on!
He's off. He's off, he is. No, that's terrible. That's a disgrace.
Get in! He's offside! Talk, Sam! No cross! Baseman! Oh, Deuce! What, Tom? You said! Talk, Alex, talk! Stay out! Get 2 out with you! Shout somebody! Jordan, fighting, come on. Fight forward, man! Back up! Jonathan, get in the box, get in the box! Offside! Oh! Keep times as well! Fucking hell!
This weekend in the evo-stick, Kozel Town are on a good run of form and they travel to Nottingham to face Kozel Town. Not an easy place to go, and the Millers tend to be quite strong at home. Two sides at the wrong end of the table meet at Dronfield, with Sheffield FC, the oldest football club in the world, hosting Gresley. Time now to talk to John Deans about Heath Hayes Football Club and the proud history of this place. How long have Heath Hayes as a football club been going?
We started in 1964. We had a team at the local youth club, the Co-op Youth Club, and we had problems with the youth club leader and team selection, which is nothing new. And we broke away. I led the revolution to break away. He said we'd never be able to run a team on our own, and I've been stuck with it ever since.
Labour of love, I assume.
You better ask my wife that. Yes, I've enjoyed it. You know, you have your moments where you don't enjoy it, but for every bad moment, there's 10 good ones. And if you win something along the way, then you know it makes it all the better.
And how long have you been at this place? Is that going back?
The first season we played on Heath Hayes Park, and then the next season, the colliery here, Coppice Colliery, 1965, closed down, and I was working at the cardboard offices in Cannock at the time, and I just had to take the tea to the gaffer, and one day I plucked enough courage up to ask him if we could use this ground on a temporary basis, and we've been here ever since, except for one season.
So was this the colliery ground then?
This was the colliery ground, it's all to the lot, and just where we're sitting now, this was the old colliery railway line. And we've obviously had to fill it in to put this on and things like that. But in the very early days, there was no changing rooms. We used to change in the pub over the road, the 5 ways. And there was the shortcut was to come down the railway line and up the bank. And they reckon that's how we won all our matches.
I could just imagine some of today's footballers doing that.
Oh, they wouldn't. Yeah. They wouldn't. I
mean, even at our level, they wouldn't want to do that, would they?
There was no risk assessments and health and safety in those days, Gary.
I mean, I love this place. Apart from when it's rained too much, because we'll talk about the drainage of the pitch in a while, but you just don't know it's here. If you drive past, unless you actually know the ground is here, you could drive up and down that road outside and not realise there's such a lovely little ground, nestled behind the houses that there are.
Over the past 20 years, the village has probably tripled in size. Obviously, all what I call the real locals know where it is, because they've all played here at some time or other.
And a lot of them still turn up, don't they?
Oh, they do. It's always been a local club. I mean, most of the chaps who come and support us now are ex-players, which is always good to see. And I don't think they come to watch the football, or hadn't used to. Perhaps they do a bit more this season. But they come and like to have the crack and
socialise and put the world to rights.
Put the world to rights.
Moan at referees.
Well,
we don't do that really.
That's part of the course, isn't it? That's the beauty of the game at our age.
Well, and it is. I mean, going back to to those early formative years. I mean, you've obviously grown as a club in terms of the stature and the level you were playing at, and have moved up. I remember you playing at the Premier Division at this level. Obviously back in Division One. Looking over those, more than 50 years now.
53.
What are the standout moments? You must have loads of standout moments.
On the playing side, there's really 3 standout moments. The first one was in 1971 when we won the Penkridge Charity Cup. At that time, to win the Penkridge Charity Cup, you'd got to be a good side.
And what sort of sides were in it?
All the best sides locally, all the best sides. We played a team called Evo from Stafford, who were Stafford Rangers reserves, in the final, and they had lost for 2 seasons. And we beat them 1-0. It was no goals at half time, and I was manager at the time. And the wife was pregnant, and my rallying call was, whoever gets the winner, I'll name, if it's a lad, I'll name it after him. But I couldn't go through with my promise, Gary.
Go on.
It was Percy. You wouldn't like him. Your Percy called you Percy, would you? Percy Bailey, a good old friend of mine. I see every Sunday night, he still comes with me.
It'd be even more tricky now, I'll tell you. It really would.
And then the next real standout moment was when we won the Staff Survivors for the first time in 1971. No, not 1971, where are we? 2002. We played a team called Alsager at Stafford Rangers, and there was over 1,000 people there. I think half the village turned up. And we played out of our skins, and we beat them 3-0. And when we won the league, when Simon was manager, with the Midland Con, that was another outstanding moment. And of course, more recently, when we beat Lichfield 4-0 in the Staff Survivors 2 years ago.
I was there.
That was as good a performance as I've ever seen.
Well, I've got to be honest, and John will confirm this as well, because we were sat there in the stand, and I just couldn't believe what I was watching.
But
this wasn't the Heath Hayes that I'd seen previously. He just completely played them off the park. Some of the football, and some of the goals. Talk about goals of the season. I mean, there were a couple of absolute pearlers.
There was 4 pearlers,
and the performance was just outstanding. And I think. I've got a lot of my links with Stafford Rangers, as everyone knows. And Rangers always used to come here for a pre-season friendly.
That's right.
And a pre-season not very friendly, generally. And I think those that were there that day were absolutely staggered. They said, this is a bit of a different Heath Hayes now. And I said, well, yeah. I said, but that's young, free spirits, and they just play football in such a way. And Lichfield were red hot favourites to win.
They were.
They were fully expected to win.
That's right. I
think they were absolutely staggered by what you did to them.
I felt a bit for them because.
No, you didn't.
Well, I don't really, but
come on.
But Bertie said after the guys.
But if you looked at those 2 sides and compared them one against the other, the man for man, Lichfield were by far the strongest side with some of the players that actually got.
On paper, we hadn't got a player who could get in there.
But on the day, it was a great night, good crowd. And again, I think it just showed. It gives you that continuity, doesn't it? Going back, the 53 years to actually still see, the club. Growing now, this place, as I say, it's a lovely place to watch football. But when it rains, if we've had a couple of days of rain, I can look down our fixtures and I know which clubs might not be playing, and you tend to be one of them.
That never used to be the case, but when with a
lot of this new housing.
I don't think so in particular. I think one of the main things. When they filled the railway line in, obviously it was quite a deep cutting where the railway line went, and that was a natural drainage. And then it used to go the other way down to the pools that way. And they altered the mounts when they did the open cast Bleak House. And Also, I think we upset the drainage somewhat when we put the floodlights up because we had to dig trenches all the way around. And we did have a contractor here about 10 years ago to try and sort it out. And to be honest, he didn't make a very good job of it. But that's it. Nothing's forever, is it?
No, necessarily. I mean, we were talking the other day, and you said, I think the probably long-term future, if anything, is probably going to be away from the Coppice Colliery.
Yeah.
Because you're probably restricted in terms of what you can do here.
Yeah.
It's lovely with the trees around, but you look at it thinking, well, if you really wanted to, make a push up the leagues, you're probably limited.
We want to get. I really enjoyed the season we had in the couple of seasons we had in the Premier League, because you get some good clubs, and I want to get back that up there.
Yeah, and they are, they're run by nice people.
Yeah.
Some fantastic,
in the main.
We'll leave that one there. But I mean, and again, you go into some decent places. You're seeing some real good quality footballers. Yeah. But I'll say that in Division One this season, the quality is really ramped up.
Without a doubt.
And there's some big clubs, and it's not going to get any easier. Moving up, is it?
But just getting back to the point you were raising, at the minute, I won't say it's past its sell-by date, but the ground is no longer fit for purpose. We've got the drainage issue, as you say. We've got now main sewers. Everything's on cesspits. And believe me, the people in the flats, they soon close the windows in the summer when we've just emptied them. There's not enough power coming through for the floodlights and the showers to be on at the same time. So we have to be very careful that the floodlights are knocked off before all the showers are on, and especially a midweek game when we've got the cooker on and everything else. So it's just, and then we got the car park is a major problem. A lot of people who I've known all my life live down the lane here, and they're getting a little bit fed up now with people parking across the drives and things like that, because the gates have improved over the last
4 years. I think that is it. I mean,
And,
I mean, when I come here, depending on who you're playing, it will change the time that I turn up. Because if I want to get on the car park, I know there are certain teams you're going to be playing. I think, well, better get there early, otherwise I ain't going to get on the car park. And I don't really want to park in the lane.
No.
Because you say you are parking across drives, aren't you?
Yeah.
But the beauty of this is that, again, all it shows, there's a club that's been here for 50 plus years, that's well established in the community. I mean, you've got so many teams here. All these youngsters playing here.
This is another thing, you see. If we could, at the moment we're in negotiations with Heath Hayes, Cannock Council, to move up to Heath Hayes Park, which is 24 acres, doing nothing, one pitch on it. The changing rooms are an absolute disgrace. The council have got no money because they've spent it all elsewhere, and now they're looking at developing that. So we're in talks with them at the minute to perhaps form a partnership with them to run it under the community right to run scheme, and it looks very hopeful that all the local councillors are supporting us. It's just a matter of getting the district council to finally agree to helping us, because we do bring a lot of good publicity to the area. People fail to see this side of it, and I think something will come. I think
it's one of those things, John, that I'm seeing everywhere I go, and a lot of the clubs that we're actually talking to, particularly on Jumpers for Goalposts, is that there is this community link. And clubs are becoming more and more switched on. And I think it's that sort of publicity and just getting the community involved. And the fact you've already said, a lot of the old players still come back here. And I mean, some of them I don't know from Adam, but I know they've played here before.
They're all on the photos around here.
But I know they've played here before because you hear them. I mean, I'm sat at the back of the stand and you hear them all, and you think, okay,
Yeah.
You've been around, and to be honest, it's I see this with a lot of places I go, that longevity is still there, that people still want to keep coming back.
It's not only that, you need the players to come through as well, but you need committee men, because I mean, they ain't going to be here forever, you know,
and we get back to the same old problem that everyone has,
you know,
limited numbers.
If we moved over the road and had a little clubhouse and got and had junior pitches surrounding it, which there's plenty of room for it, then we'd be a football club. At the minute, we've got 19 teams, all wearing blue and white striped shirts, and all calling themselves Heath Hayes, but half of them we don't see from one annual general meeting to another, and it ain't their fault. There's nothing, you know. It just needs. We need a base.
Well,
but we'll get there one day.
With a bit of luck, it'll be good to see, and it'll be a shame not to be surrounded by the trees here. But
it'll break my heart, Gary. But you know,
progress. Unfortunately,
forever.
it's one of those that sometimes you have to do that with progress.
Yeah.
John, thanks for that. Really appreciate it. Into the Total Motion Midland Football League now, and the Premier Division. Guess what? It's been another stunning week, and yet again we have new leaders. The reason for that, Sporting Calcer started the weekend on top of the pile. They hosted Shepshed Dynamo at the Asprey Arena rather than at Castlecroft. Here are the highlights, courtesy of Shepshed Dynamo TV.
Good goal! Time for another wave celebration. Really? Yeah. Yeah. That's a goal. Sorry. There's one out. Back on again. Russia, back here. Also, you got double up. Double up. What's the big man? Gamble. Shake. Away. Yeah, love it. Oh, good
That draw gave Kozel Town the opportunity to take over the top, and what a way to do it. They hosted Coventry United TV. They didn't know Coventry United TV at all. The highlights are from Coventry United TV. Liam, you weren't playing. Here are the highlights.
Fishwick, but under pressure by Mitch Piggin, the top scorer of 11 league goals this season. Although back to half away, gets it away quickly before Piggin can get there. It's gone over the head of Rob Prinzel, and Dutton has to try and come out and mop up the mess that Prinzel left. I'm not quite sure what Prinzel was thinking about there. That ball got over his head. And Reese Leake, racing towards goal, is blocked up by Dutton. He just got just enough on the ball to stop that attack from Kozel. A very dangerous moment for the Red and Greens in the opening 3 minutes. And TJ will get there first and keep it away from Joe Smith. Now it's with Jack Jays. He's got Piggin for company. Lays it off for Craig Reed. Doesn't find him. It'll be picked up by Lewis Rankin. Stands towards goal. And a fantastic catch by Hathaway. He's doing his research. We know what Lewis Rankin can do from that sort of position with the ball to feet. We've seen some absolutely scintillating strikes from the former Sky Blues winger this season. And if it wasn't for the fantastic catching ability of Hathaway, we would have seen another one. And it would have been the opening goal for Coventry United. As it stands, it's still 0-0. Timon, back to Smith on the right. Takes on Tom James. Barlow puts it through. Edmonds cross. Elaney gets a crucial touch of it. Oh, what a save by Dutton! Brilliant shot by Joe Hassel, low and high, but in a hand to it was Scott Dutton. Volleyed over by Barlow, goes wide, and thus ends the move for Kozel. Instinctive reactions from Scott Dutton to deny Kozel an opening goal. Cole to Danny Timon across to Moulton. Flick forward, looking for Leake. Leake's one-on-one. It's Leake! Oh, what a strike! And for all their pressure in the last couple of minutes, Kozel get their just desserts. A ferocious strike from Reese Leake. And Kozel Town take the lead. They've been the more dangerous side heading forward within the opening 20 minutes or so. United really can have no complaints. But there's still plenty of time in this match. This is the sort of game that one goal is not going to seal. But Kozel struck first. So the ball was in their court. Kozel 1, Coventry United 0. Halfway prepares himself for a Rankin rocket. Will it find its intended destination? Rankin strikes well. Oh, just wide at the near post. Got the height right, not the accuracy. Here's Tom James. Lovely ball down left hand side. Jack Jay is covered up by two Kozel players. Gets the ball away towards that far post. Mitch Piggin into the hands of Hathaway. Brilliant work from JJ to get that cross away. Good cross it was. But Piggin unable to put it either side of the keeper. It was a pretty savable height for Hathaway. Good contact. But I think any competent goalkeeper is going to have that one covered. Smith. A five-man wall standing up for the Red and Greens. It's struck well and it's struck over the crossbar by Ryan Edmonds. Kozel not settling for the one goal. Clash of the Titans has been Clash of the Pussycats at the moment. Neither side really bearing their teeth. But what a chance now. Kozel on a point-blank save by Scott Dutton. A ferocious shot from Hassel. That's more like it from Kozel. But an outstanding reflex save from Scott Dutton. The second time he's had to pull off such heroics against Hassel, the Kozel captain. And right now United are lucky they're only the one goal behind. Now moves from a more central position onto the left with Lewis Rankin. He's got Jays and James in support. Here's Jack Jays. Good cross. Piggin! Oh, into the hands of Hathaway. Well, what a move that was from Coventry United. Pigger was in a perfect opportunity for Coventry United. Whether he got a touch, it looked like he got a touch on the ball, whether it was enough contact, it doesn't look like it was. Now United are going to be careful as Dutton runs straight into Barlow, doesn't know where the ball is, and United are in deep trouble here. Barlow for two, Barlow's got it! Just like that, Coventry United from attack to conceding the second. They came oh so close to equalising, now they're 2 goals down. Dutton came out, tried to shove Barlow off the ball. But Barlow able to take it around Dutton and fire it into an empty net. Who needs Jordan Nadat? Kozel Town without their top scorer lead by 2 goals to 0 against a Coventry United side who haven't conceded a goal in 3 matches. They've conceded 2 today, and Barlow's got the second. Well, they've still got 22 minutes to go, but if they're going to get anything out of this game, to go as quickly. Elaney gives it away. Leak trying to find Edmund. It's back to Leak. Tries one and Dutton has a scramble and it's gone wide. Referee gives the goal kick. It hasn't taken a touch off Dutton on the way through, but the former Speaksman scrambling towards his left to make sure the ball didn't trickle into that bottom corner the way United looks going today. You wouldn't have betted against it going in. That third goal would have killed the game off. As it stands, United still have a glimmer of hope. United had a throw in level with the penalty area. They've wasted it. Racing down that left-hand side now. What a run this is. What a run. Still going, still going, still going. Oh, that is magic. My goodness.
Why did someone else go across?
I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. That was a run and a half and a great low finish to end a perfect move for Kozel and a perfect game for the Coleman. Take a bow, Ryan Edmonds. Simply amazing from the Kozel number 7. There was no stopping him. Lobbed forward by Timon. Cross opportunity. It's in for, oh, what a brilliant save by Dutton. And still a chance, charge down. Rathbone strike first, Hicks, then Rathbone, and a penalty. A penalty given to Kozel Town. Can it get any worse for Coventry United? And now, stepping up, Dean Rathbone to heap yet more misery on a Coventry United side, which has been battered in this second half especially. Sends Dutton the wrong way. A comprehensive win for Kozel Town. And Dean Rathbone on the bench, on the pitch, and then on the score sheet with the penalty. Well, this game's been a complete write-off for Coventry United. I don't think the Red and Green Army want to relive this one. But the Carmen certainly will. Rankin makes his way towards the penalty area, spins away from a challenge. Will he cap off this game with a brilliant goal? He would have done if it wasn't for a brilliant punch by Hathaway. One glittering moment in an otherwise dull match for Coventry United. But even these long-range spectaculars from the magician that is Lewis Rankin, even they aren't coming off. It just shows you what sort of day it is for the Red and Greens. Corner put in and headed over the goal by Rob Prinzel. Floodlights are on. But for United, it's been very much like the lights are on but nobody's home. As Hathaway picks up the ball. Referee checked his watch. And this should be the final action of what has been a very disappointing match for the Red and Greens. Indeed it is. The Kozel fans have something to celebrate there, back on track. A clinical second half display for the Coleman. For Coventry United, in all fairness, you can say it was an embarrassment. That was not a typical Red and Greens display. One of the worst displays United have put on all season, unfortunately. It had to come against a side where they had to perform. They had to show their best. They had to give everything. And they had to score goals. It didn't happen. And they've been punished emphatically by resilient Kozel.
So a good win there for Kozel. And you may see one of those goals again a little bit later in the show. Bromsgrove Sporting aren't going anywhere. They travel to Boldmere St Michael's, and after a dodgy start, they picked up another 3 points. Here are the highlights from Sporting TV.
694 to see some relatives. Side, not 100%. Yeah, I'm not 100%, but I'm getting I'm still
Goal scorer for the Mites in the 4th minute, number 7, Ben Usher-Shipwright.
pretty deep. It's what they call the roof. So that's the oasis, which is the patch. Hi George. Hold him. Some really nice big fights. I didn't see it was that tomorrow, and then we just stopped and then go Charlie! Show to the shoulder, Rick!
Equaliser for the visitors on 21.
Get rid of it! Get rid of it!
Goal scorer for the visitors on 26 minutes, number 8.
Stay with him! Stay with him!
My God! And it's possible.
Oh yes!
Number 10, short.
This weekend is a big one because it's FA Vars round 3. Some cracking fixtures. There is not a duff tie amongst them. The game I'm going to has to be Bromsgrove Sporting against Coventry United. Bromsgrove, what have they got to do this season? Beat Sporting Calcer in the previous round, now get another tough draw. But beaten semi-finalists last season, can they go all the way? My intention is to follow the winners of that game, hopefully all the way to Wembley. Another game I'm going to pick out features the last remaining side from the West Midlands Regional League, Wolverhampton Sporting Community. They're at home to Shepshed Dynamo. Wall Sporting got major defensive problems, lots of players out injured. Shepshed, as we've already seen on today's programme, are a real handful. That one could go all the way as well. And what I've done is I've also included the betting on the fixtures that you can actually see on the screen. I've included the betting. Now, I can't believe the bookies are again ignoring the MFL. How can Walsall Wood be the best bet of the MFL clubs at 20-1? An absolute nonsense. They can only see the Northern League and nothing else. I'm sorry guys, the MFL are going to well and truly beat the bookies this season. into the Premier League of the Midland Football League this weekend. Again, a handful of fixtures. Calcer can go top if they can get a result from Heath Town. Let's have a look at how Heath Town got on last weekend when they travelled to Holywell to play Loughborough University.
You can't get the clearance in your lungs, can you?
I'm here with manager Glenn Clarence and assistant manager Steve Hamilton and goalkeeper Wayne White following the 3-1 defeat to Loughborough University in the Midland League Premier Division. And Glenn, frustrating day today. What did you make of the game?
I think it's important to be honest, Chris. I thought they absolutely bopped us off the park first half. We couldn't get to grips with their formation, and it showed. Conceded an early goal, which made us change things. But having said that, once again we've had more chances than them in the first half. They've had all the possession. They've had the main of the play, but we've had 2 or 3 clear-cut chances, not half chances. Clear-cut chances, and it's a reoccurring thing. We should be taking them. Second half, we go with a different game plan, and we've conceded a goal within another 5 minutes again, so that's killed us. A mistake, and then after that, I don't think they've had a shot for the rest of the second half, and we've played a bit more direct and been camped in their half, and probably had less chances in the first half, but we were more dominant, and we're just going through a slump, as we said last week. We've had the chances, and we've conceded another, at least one cheap goal, Chris. So we've had an honest and frank chat afterwards, and we're going to Tuesday night with hopefully a different mindset and a different mentality from the group, and not much more I can say to that. But on today's game, I think the better side won. I thought they were very good, they were very organised, they played some great stuff, and as we always say, this league's tough, but that's the best Loughborough University side we've played in 3 years. I thought they were really good.
And Wayne, Glenn mentioned that Loughborough didn't have many chances. From your end, how did you see the game going?
Yeah, like I say, our game management's not been good. We're conceding goals at bad times, and it sets you back, and it allowed them to play the way they wanted and make us chase the ball after being 2-0 down. So, like I say, we're making mistakes. One error at least for their goal today, and we've got to look at ourselves as a back 4 or 5, and the lads in front, that we've got to get back to keeping clean sheets. We kept 3 out of 4 probably about a month ago, so we know we have it in the group to keep a clean sheet, and it's up to the senior players, myself, Rollo, Nick in front of us. We've played a few games to know that we've got to look at ourselves and get back to doing the dirty stuff, really, putting our bodies on the line and clearing our lines and making sure that even if we're not taking our chances, we're not conceding, and like you say, it will turn for us, I'm sure. But yeah, very disappointing, but the early goal killed us, and it allowed them to play the way they wanted, make us chase the ball, and they did very well. So like I say, if we can keep a clean sheet for longer, get ourselves into the game and grow into the game, we're going to give ourselves a better chance.
Okay, and Hamo, the second half was a much improved performance from the first half. Can you take any positives from that going into the next games?
Yeah, well, I think at this moment in time, I'd just like to, if we could start the game at probably 45 minutes, because the topsy-turvy. I just wonder, and we've said to the players in there, why does it take 45 minutes and a bit of a rocket for all of a sudden people to have a little bit of spark and people to leave a foot in and get a little bit of an aggression in the game?
Well done!
but it's a big part of it, and we didn't know how to deal with them first off, or should I say, you know, the players didn't know how to deal with them. You know, they were going to try and press, but it was pressing half-hearted, and of course then they pick you off and they pass around you, and your top 2 or 3 are out of the game, and then all of a sudden they've got number advantage. So we did, as you quite rightly say, the game second half was a lot better. We pressed a lot better. We were a lot more aggressive, and as a consequence, we probably spent 70% of it in their half. Now we had chances again. You know, there's chances falling to different people. Sam Vickers had a couple first half. Elliot had one that Nick's got a nudge on and back post. I can't remember anything clear, but I still reckon we've had 4 or 5 decent chances. You've got to take 2 or 3 of them really, because I think they probably only had 3 shots on goal and 2 went in back of the net. So yeah, I was more impressed with the second half, but it's still no consolation, is it? We've got nothing from the game. And we've said this now for 3 or 4 games, and so now when today we're in a position where probably we've been beaten by the better side, you're still saying the same old chat at the end, which is, you know, it's a lot of wind, isn't it? We're saying the same thing to the players. The players need to realise that you've got to give everything right from the start. You've got to start with aggression from the start. This is not academy football. This is, you've got to be on the front foot. You've got to go and press people. You've got to go and force people into errors. And we've came up against a side today that were very well drilled, knew how to deal with a game, knew how to manage a game, certainly could pass round us. And they did that certainly for large spells in the first half. But then we stopped them doing that. You know, and probably till the last 5-10 minutes when they attempted to do it again. We pressed them in their half. But we've just got to try and turn this corner. We have got to stick together. We've got to be confident as a group. But you know, the players have got to take a lot more on board. You know, this league is unforgiving. We come here against a good footballing side today. You don't play too many of them. You play a lot of lads that work hard, try hard. You know, they'll go for 95 minutes. We've got hopefully a nice distraction on Tuesday. That's the cup game, and it just puts the pressures a little bit more pressure on us now to go and win that game, get our confidence back, and then take that into the league. Because I'll tell you now, next Saturday, Kelsey, is it? That's going to be a tough test, because we know the people there and they never know when they're beaten, and we've got to come up with the same resolve if we're going to get anything out of that game.
And then finally, Glenn, on to that League Cup game on Tuesday night against Heath Hayes. Is this the perfect time to end the run before the Sporting Kozel game next Saturday?
You'd like to think so, Chris, but I think we could play Heath Hayes under 12s, and if we don't take our chances and give them goals, they'll beat us. So it's plain and simple. Stop making mistakes, first of all, as Whitey says, and then we don't concede. So we're giving cheap goals away. Then we've got the issues of not putting the ball in the back of net. But on to Tuesday, possibly different personnel, possibly different shape, might even play in a different kit, might wear purple. But yeah, I'd like to touch on the fans today. I thought they were large spells, got behind us and tried to give us that push. It's not happening for us. We said that last week. You can go one or two ways, can't you? You can sulk and pack up and spit your dummy out, or you can man up, stick your chest out and put it right Tuesday night. I'd like to think we'll be doing that.
Yeah, we look forward to the game on Tuesday night against Heath Hayes. Thank you.
Shawbury United meet Boldmere St Michael's at the Ludlow Stadium, and I know it's the first weekend in December, but it's a big game, this. Two sides in the bottom 3. Shawbury really need to get a result if they can. We're now going to start talking about the Midland Football League Division One, and a chance to have a chat with John Simpkin about how Heath Hayes have got the title of the great entertainers this season, and how he sees this season has gone. I've got to talk about this season. I've christened you guys the great entertainers. What's going on? 5 each, 3 each, 4 each? I mean, it must be great to watch, or is it driving you mad?
Well, I've been involved with the club very recently in terms of actually joining the sort of workforce, as it were, but I've been a supporter for a long time. I was on holiday in France and we started all this great run of games, and since I've become chairman, one of the first things we've bought is a defibrillator, because it is heart attack territory here at the moment. It really is. We have such exciting games. Yeah, I don't know why. Well, in fact, I think I do know why. I think we've got a lot of young players. There's a lot of competition in this area. There's lots of clubs close to us within a 10-mile radius. We've got Pelsall, Walsall, Stafford, Brockton, and then the Wolverhampton clubs like Calcer and things like that. There's such a lot of players could go elsewhere. So we've got a young side, and we've brought them through, and we don't want them to be scared. So we've said, play how you feel. And it is a bit edge of the seats, but boys, it's entertaining, and the crowd's gone up.
I mean, the one that stood out for me was the game at Brockton earlier this season.
3-3, I think.
It was 3 each, and it could have been 10 each.
Yeah.
And it literally was, okay, your turn to have the ball and attack.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic to watch, but I couldn't imagine being on either bench and thinking, what are you doing? Because it was just... It literally was just such flowing football.
We are the Brazil of South Staffordshire. You score, we'll score another one. It doesn't always work.
Blue and white stripes.
It doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. We do lose sometimes. But as I say, we've got a young side. They've been together. It's part of the youth system that we've built up. They've come through the under-18s, the under-21s. They've arrived en masse. It's a bit, premature to say, they are Fergie's wonder kids or anything like that. And Alan Hansen was right. You don't win anything with kids, but you just might. And we're having a great season.
But I think that's it, isn't it? I mean, you look at the side, and a lot of these have come through the under-21 side. You've seen them scoring goals there, and they're now in the first team. In the young lad up front, Regan Smith, you've got one of the league's leading scorers, and looks a real handful every time I see him. And that includes games at Sporting Calcer. When you got beat at Sporting Calcer. But didn't you give them some frights?
There are so many times we've gone and played teams, and it looks on paper as though it's a heavy defeat, but it hasn't been. I mean, you'll see with the footage of Hina. That was an amazing game as well. It was a lovely game, it was a lovely ground, and thank you very much, Hina, for your wonderful hospitality and sportsmanship. But it was just a fantastic occasion where they might have won 6, but we might have drawn 3-3 or even snuck it 4-3. And all our games seem to be like that. Nobody ever comes away from a Heath Hayes game going, well, that was boring, because we just don't do games like that anymore.
And again, I mean, we mentioned the game at Hina. I mentioned the one at Calcer. Playing against these better sides is obviously where you'd ideally like to be. But you look at Division One, you look at the top of Division One, and some of those potential better sides are there as well. You've only got to look. Walsall Woods up, not far from here. We've seen what they're doing. Ilkeston with their phenomenal crowds. Atherstone, Hinckley. There's some big teams in Division One.
You hear tales all the while from people, and obviously a lot of them are not completely the whole truth and slightly exaggerated about the amount of money that's going into football. And I suspect there is more money going to this league now than there used to be.
I think that's right.
But there's not any more going in here at Heath Hayes. If Reg was here, he'd tell you if our players are lucky, they get a bag of crisps and a bottle of pop after the game, and that's about it. Because we are a little club, as John Dean said earlier, we're a small club. We've got a lot of things around us that are limiting us from actually growing, not least the fact that people don't know where they are. I moved into the new houses that were built 30 years ago and thought, oh look, there's a football pitch over the back. I never knew it was there. And I came round and I got hooked. But we need to get a few more people hooked. And we need some more people to come in. We've got a fantastic committee who work really hard, and I'm not going to fall into the trap by mentioning any of them by name. But apart from that, we've got an extra set of people who are not on the committee, but who give their all to support the club. But we need more. And it's like everybody else. We want more. And if ever you want to see good football and be part of something that's growing, come and join Heath Hayes.
Well, and to be honest, I mean, when I look at the fixtures for the following weekend, it's quite normal for me to say, well, if you want to see goals this week, this is the fixture. And it's very rare you let me down.
It's true.
And it's relative. It seems to be relatively simple this season. You can look at fixtures and generally pick out some real crackers.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, and you must be seeing it as well this season, there are very, very few duff games.
I can only think of 1-0, and we lost. And I was very disappointed with that. But all the others, even if they've been 2-0 or 2-1 or something like that, there's been a lot of goalmouth action, a lot of entertaining football. And it's not just goalmouth action. There's some good football played. And it's great when we come up against teams who want to play football. I mean, as you know, there are teams in the league who've got a very pragmatic style and they'll play a certain way. But there's some teams who are very expressive. And when we get to play against teams like that, you just see some lovely football from both sides. And teams that want to play football, I'll always support that. I want to win. It's important to want to win, but not at the cost of the beautiful game. And there's a lot of beautiful game going on in this league now, and we're proud to be part of it.
So in terms of your aims for this season, I'd suppose looking at the league table, that mid-table and seeing these youngsters develop would be really what you set out to achieve.
It would be wonderful to think we could go and challenge to win the title and get promoted, but we've got to be realistic about things. It would be terrible to think that we'd be involved in a dogfight at the bottom at the end of the season. But with a load of young players, we were never quite certain. Now it seems, as you say, to be panning out that we're sort of in that sort of middle third. Well, that's okay. I'd like to be towards the top of the middle third. I think we've got the ability to do that. Our players are learning all the while. Our management team's new and they're learning as well. So, onwards and upwards.
I mean, you've already mentioned a couple of the local clubs to hear in terms of the ones in Stafford Town and Brockton.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are down there in that dogfight, which probably surprised a number of people. But I think, again, that's just the competitive nature of the league. You look at what a side like Racing Club Warwick have won 7 on the trot now, into the third round of the Vars this weekend. And you must look at a side like Warwick and think, well, hang on a minute, if Racing Club Warwick, not much bigger in terms of the setup than you guys are here, if they can achieve something like this, then those are the ones to aim at. You don't want to aim at the Walsall Woods, because it's a different model.
Incidentally, that game, Racing Club Warwick, when we played here, was actually one of our less entertaining games. We only won 2-0, but again, it was still a lot of good football. And when you mention clubs like at Brockton, I think they are having to adjust to what's happened to them last season, and I've got a lot of faith in Brockton. I'm quite sure they'll.
I mean, I've got close links to Brockton, as you know, and it is a new side there. It's a very much a new side.
It is.
And their performances probably aren't mirroring the results.
No.
And they've had a run where they've played 4 of the top 5 in the last 4 games.
I went to watch them, and they've got 6 ex-Heath Hayes players in the side, and they're all good players. And they were unlucky.
That was the game against Leicester Road. I was there as well, because we saw each other, and you looked at it. And again, Leicester Road are on a good run at the top of the table. And when you're at the top, the results tend to go your way.
We had a cracking game against Leicester Road. It was a cold night, but the football warmed your heart. It was a 3-3 draw. We equalised with a magnificent strike towards the end of the game. It was lovely.
But you had Walsall Wood down here the other week. Was it 5-2?
Yeah. And again, it sounds like a walkover.
But the 2 is quite key, because Walsall Wood just hadn't been conceding until last week. They conceded 3 at Alistair.
We were the first team to score 2 past Walsall Wood all season in the league, which is no mean feat, because, as you say, they play some fantastic football.
Well, if you upset their apple cart, they won't be very happy, I guarantee.
Well, I work fairly close to Walsall Wood, so I have to mind my P's and Q's about that one.
And again, I mean, this division is probably as good as I can remember. and it's difficult to predict who's going to win it.
Well, exactly. I mean, I can remember at the start of the season, again, I was on holiday, and the Twitter was going and the texts were going, and the first game was that heart-thumping 5-5, and then I think it was the next game or the game after, we went away to Ilkeston, and Ilkeston, it was their first home game in this league, newly formed club, and we got a 2-0 win, and that was fantastic, especially when you look at how they've pushed on now.
Oh, yeah.
They've really upped their game, and I can see them
9 wins on the trot in the league.
Serious contenders.
Next weekend, Walsall at home.
That'll be a
talking
big
of
game.
1,000, hopefully.
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, we sometimes.
It's a different. Yeah. Again, it's a different prospect, isn't it?
As you say, it is a different prospect.
Can potentially attract 1,000.
Last season, we went to Bromsgrove, and they were selling tickets for their cup run semi-final, and there was 1,000 people there, and this guy in the crowd said, "Oh, I can't see many Heath Hayes fans." I said, "How dare you?" So I named all 8 of us. we are a small club, but we do our best.
And that's it. Thanks very much for inviting us here. It's been
a pleasure to have you here.
I mean, I do enjoy my visit to you.
Yeah.
And it's just great to be able to talk about one of our local clubs, one of our probably more unsung clubs. And that's what we're trying to do, rather than those that have got loads and loads of publicity.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot more to football in our area than the big names.
It's a real pleasure to have you here, and on a personal note, I'm so pleased that I can be on Jumpers for Goalposts, because I am a really big fan. Thank you very much.
John, that's great.
Cheers.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Gary.
And what we'll do, we've already talked about the game at Heath Town. Here are the goals from Tuesday night in the Polymath Packaging League Cup.
But we're going to have bigger and harder tests this month. We've got a big month coming up, starting on Saturday with Sporting Karlsruhe, are a top side. So judge it on that, I suppose. But yeah, tonight was about getting through that rut and getting some goals in the back of the net, keeping a clean sheet, and more importantly, a smile back on people's faces, and giving us that platform for, as I've said, a big month.
If somebody comes in like Jamie has done, he's took a bit of pressure off Vix and Elliot and one or two others, and they seem to benefit from Jamie's runs, and certainly you saw the back four keep a clean sheet again because we're scoring goals. It's certainly, when you do score goals, Chris, it takes pressure off the back four and off the goalkeeper. But create chances, score goals, create chances, score goals, win games. I thought our performance was good for the best part of the whole 90 minutes. But the only thing I'm concerned about tonight really is just the state of mind of our players, and I think we set tough standards for them. We don't go. We sometimes go in, when we're at an even keel at half time and try and set further standards. And I think it was just beginning to get to them. So tonight was just a great distraction for us. And there's nothing better than seeing players go and express themselves. And tonight, Danny Gordon, Josh Craddock. Well, it's unfair to name individuals, but you see them all of a sudden then come out of the shells.
We have new leaders in Division One, and it's Ilkeston Town who've taken over top spot, and they are on an absolutely phenomenal run. 8 straight league wins, huge gates at the new Manor ground. Suddenly, people are starting to take note and starting to get a little bit worried about Ilkeston. They've taken over top spot because of what happened to Walsall Wood last weekend. They travelled to the Mark Webster Community Stadium to take on Atherstone Town. Commentary, courtesy of the one and only Mark Brooks.
Nice ball by Nort, and he's called backstage. Oh, he does well. He's got Luke Shorthouse in the middle with. Can he find him? It's towards Luke Shorthouse. Oh, it's just over. Okay, Gavin Hurrend took the free kick into Sullivan, and that's a decent effort, and it's gone in. It's took a deflection, I think. But Walsall would take an early lead down here at the Snake Pit. So throw up the line. Luke Shorthouse as well. Here's a Ronquin. Oh, ref! Yes, it's a penalty. Yes. Yes, Kiernan Richards brings down Ronquin. And, Nort's missed his last one. Is he going to take this one? He missed his last penalty. Will Alex Norton score this one to make it 21 for the season and 1-1? Yes, he does. It's absolutely class. And there's 21 goals now for the season for Alex Norton. And it's only November the 25th. Slater still. And it's a good ball to Lawley. Slater again. And now we got Deakin. They've played that out well, Waterwood, in fairness. And that's a lovely ball down the line to Tony Clark. He's onside. Tony Clark. Oh, well done by Tony. He squares it. Yes, and they've scored again. And I think it's Sullivan again. Superb play by Tony Clark. And 2-1 to Waterwood. Ball's clipped in and is Sully on a hat-trick. Oh, he turns like it beautifully. Oh, great feet by Sully. Oh, what a save from George. Absolutely superb play. Quinn, back to Baxter again. It comes in. Oh, Slater gets can't clear it far enough. Lawley, likewise. It comes to Nort. Oh, it's just over. Great effort by Alex Norton. And oh, good play by Sully. Oh, it's Tony Clark. And Sully's denied an hat-trick for the... Okay, we got George. Clears it. Good header on, it's Baxter. Oh, it's a deep cross, it's a great ball, Luke Shorthouse! It's 2-2, a superb cross by Baxter. And Luke Shorthouse was there to stab it in at the back post. What a game this is. Brilliant play, it's Luke Shorthouse. And he's Nort. Still Nort. Still. Oh, brilliant. Nort. Oh, what a save by Ransom. And it's a goal kick. It's come back off Norton. Oh, lovely run from Nort. And as far as Baxter. Mitch Thompson. Oh, it's a nice ball, Nort. Oh, what a good save from Ransom. Well, that was a good opportunity. Okay, we've got a corner to the Adders. It's Ryan Quinn with it. It's a decent one. Oh, comes over Mitch Thompson. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, there it is. Okay, Baxter with the corner. Oh, it's flicked on by Dougie. And it's Alex Norton! They've taken the lead, it's now 3-2! The fans are going wild! Oh, it's absolutely fantastic! Oh, Daniel Douglas comes off the bench, makes a difference with a vital flick on, and Norton was there to pull it in. Can they hang on? And it comes all the way through to Lloyd Ransom. And the Adders have won! The fans go wild! It's a wonderful victory for Atherstone Town. Absolutely fantastic. They've seen some action here down the years, but it must be absolutely delighted with this one.
Racing Club Warwick are another club on a fine run of form. They've won 8 games on the trot. Last Saturday I was at their game when they travelled to Evans Park to take on Stafford Town. Here are the goals, courtesy of Peter Ray.
O'Grady takes it over in midfield and keeps control of it onto his left foot. Clips the ball through, and Powell is onside, and he clips the ball in, and it's 1-0, and that's deserved. Great pass by O'Grady. Dangerous game by the hosts, and So nicely played by Pace though. Right. Going left. Well, right would go left. Pace taking over. Low pass forward. Finding Dodd. Dodd back to Wilcock. Long ball headed forward by Passy though. Lever to O'Grady. O'Grady's pass to Powell. Powell slips it through towards Kavanagh. Kavanagh gets inside. Low shot and it's 2-0. Good finish by Kavanagh and a good move again by the visitors. Kick now just inside his own half for the central defender Wilcott to take for Stafford. Out towards Allen, should win it, but his controls let him down. The ball's poked forward towards Cole. Cole is beaten to the ball by Wright. Plays the ball in, but Passy's head gets it out towards the right-hand side. And still the home side forcing themselves forward. And they've still got the ball. It's a chance at the edge of the area. It takes a deflection. There's a shot by Allen, and it's deflected, and it's gone in, and it's 2-1. Lever with the left side corner for Warwick. Recovered from their early second half malaise. Slevin onside, gets it inside. Must be a chance, in it comes. There's a little header, and it's bounced in, and it's Kavanagh again, and it's 3-1. Just a little looped header, and the keeper couldn't reach it.
This weekend, Leicester Road can take over top spot if they can overcome Paget Rangers. And Paget had a great win in midweek in one of the county cups. They won away at Highgate United. Good result there for Paget. If they slip up, Studley could also go back to the top. I love Division One. You just never know who's going to be top. Studley travelled to Brockton. Brockton needing points at the wrong end of the table. And if you're looking for goals, it's not Heath Hayes. They're not playing this weekend. If you're looking for goals, Bowlhall Swifts against Atherstone Town. Could be full of goals, that one. But I think it'll be the Adders who would be favourites to win that one quite comfortably. Into Division 2 of the Midland Football League. And Montpellier took over second spot as Hampton went down 3-1 at home to Knoll. They were reduced to 8 men. I haven't seen a report as to why they were reduced to 8 men, but that gave Montpellier a chance to close the gap a little on NKF Burbage, but Burbage still have a 6-point lead at the top of the table. This week, my game of the day is 5th against 4th. It's at the Robin's Nest. It's Knoll at home to Hampton. And Knoll at home to Northfield Town. Hampton, a third. Knoll at home to Northfield Town. Again, expect goals in that one. Knoll have hit a bit of form, but they're going to go a long, long way to catch the top 3 in Division 2. Into Division 3 of the Midland Football League now. And one of the 100% records went last weekend. FC Stratford travelled to CT Shush. Here are the goals. Well, that's FC Stratford's 100% record gone. GMP Sports, however, made it 10 wins out of 10. Another 3-0 win. Can anyone clip their wings at the top of Division 3? Remind me very much of NKF Burbage, what Burbage did in their first season in the Midlands Football League last season. This week, my game of the day, AFC Solihull against FC Stratford at Tudor Grange Leisure Centre. AFC Solihull, after being near the bottom for the first 6 games of the season, are absolutely flying, and they're now into the top 6. Stratford are going to want to get back on the winning trail. That should be a good game, and expect some goals. But a note on Solihull, last weekend 5 16-year-olds in their starting lineup. That says everything about that club to me, and it's exactly what we should be seeing, particularly in Division 3. A lot of these youngsters coming through, so well done AFC Solihull. Another game I'm actually going to pick out isn't in the league, it's in the Les James Challenge Cup. It's in round 2. NKF Burbage, leaders of Division 2, at home to GMP Sports, leaders in Division 3. That could be a good one. Burbage, again, should have the class to win that one, but you can't discount GMP with the start they've made in the league this season. As usual, there's plenty of games in the Midlands Football League reserves and under 21 divisions. Let's see the highlights from last weekend when Cadbury Athletic took on Alvechurch.
Let's go. Good ball. Unlucky! Try that great save! Well done.
Time to move into the West Midlands Regional League now. Wolverhampton Sporting Community were beaten for only the 2nd time this season last Saturday. They went down 2-1 at Malvern Town, who are also, I think Malvern are now 3rd in the division. And the reason why they are 3rd is Black Country Rangers took over 2nd spot in midweek. They beat Bilston Town, and Black Country Rangers are now in 2nd place. Wellington hosted Smethwick. Let's see the goals from that game.
Josh. That's it. Strike. Yes!
Oh. Good goal by James. To be fair, on the last 10 minutes that's against the run of play, but as they say, you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle. So we're just on 30 minutes. It's Wellington 1, Smethwick 0.
Colin!
Oh.
Corner!
So 10 minutes to the first half to go. Still Wellington 1, Smethwick 0. Goal on the 30th minute by James Hancock. James Hancock, sorry. And there's the equaliser.
Hey, you deserve that! That's what you deserve, Smethwick.
Again, it's not clearing the ball when we had a chance.
Let's go now. You got him, Colin, you got him. Back on him, Colin.
Oh, 50 minutes gone. Wellington 1, Smethwick 2.
Same again! Talk to him, Cole! Yes, Junior! Put him in! Stoney!
Yeah. Good save, John. Great stop. Oh, good strike. Oh. Well, that's another shocking performance and really disappointing result. In injury time, Wellington 1, Smethwick 3. And to be fair, again, I don't think we can have much complaints again.
And highlights now from another West Midland Regional League side, Dudley Sports. They travel to Atherstone Town on Wednesday night in the Birmingham Midweek Floodleague Cup. Oh, I've got it right as well. Well done, Gary. Here are the goals and the highlights, courtesy of Mark Brooks.
In loads of space, gives it to Harry Donovan. Harry, oh, he's done well. Can he get a cross in? It's Miller. Eggy. Good ball, Luke Shorthouse. Oh, just over. Luke Shorthouse. Still Luke. Oh, he does ever so well. It's a lovely ball. It's Miller. Yes, Alan Miller. Super work from Luke Shorthouse and Alan Miller with a wonderful, wonderful composed finish. 1-0 to the Headers. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely superb by Shorthouse. Is Harry Donovan. Oh, it's a good effort. And it's a corner. Okay, it's Alan Miller. Oh, it's good. It's Quinn. Quinn. Oh, what a great save. He got a bobble and the keeper did well to pull it wide for a corner. Comes to Gould. Gould. Oh, it's Alan Miller. Can he keep it in? He does really well. Back to Quinn. Oh, nice. Gould. Oh, what a save. What a save from O'Dowd. Outstanding. Break. Here's Luke Shorthouse. Oh, it's a great ball. It's Gould. Jonathan Gould on debut. Oh, good feet. Oh, and it skimmed the crossbar. Oh, it's unlucky. Still 1-0 to the Headers. One of these magic runs into Luke Shorthouse. Can he get... Oh, it's Luke Shortoast still. Oh, what a great save again from O'Dowd. Liam O'Dowd, absolutely superb. Luke Shortoast did well, but Addis get a corner. Miller. Still. Here's Quinn. Good turn. Can he get a left foot shot now? Quinn, no. Oh, it's a great save again from O'Dowd. Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh, Addis ever going to get this second goal? Got Harry Donovan, he's Quinn. Good ball in. Oh yes, and Alex Norton. Well, it hasn't taken him long. And Addis double their lead at long last. It was a lovely ball from Ron Quinn. And it's goal number 23 for Alex Norton. Alex Norton with the free kick. Oh, it's just wide. It's a lovely effort from Alex Norton. Norton trying to get back. Oh, and it's gone to Miller. Nort. Yes! It's 3-0. Lovely closing down from Norton in the first place. An intelligent play by Miller to roll it into his path. Harry Donovan again. It's a great ball, Norton. Oh, good save again by O'Dowd. And he gets a throw. And he's Mitch Thompson. Oh, what a goal for Mitch Thompson. It's 4-0. An absolute magnificent strike. And good work by Gould and Miller again. Thompson, here's Mitch Thompson again. Nice ball towards Miller, and it's Norton! Oh, it's just wide! And the referee blows the final whistle. It's a comfortable win in the end for the Adders. 4-0.
This weekend in the West Midlands Regional League, there's a big Black Country derby as Cradley Town host Tividale. Tividale will be expected to win that one, but Cradley again at home are a difficult proposition. Malvern Town against Wellington Amateurs. If you look at the league table, you think, well, why is he mentioning that? That looks to be really one-sided. Not one bit. Welliams have brought a number of new players in. They're starting to pick up points at the bottom of the table. That may be a tricky afternoon for Malvern Town. Into Division One of the West Midlands Regional League. Great week for Newport Town, for Team Dudley and for Old Wolfrunians, all of whom strengthened their positions at the top of the table. Newport winning 3-0 at Darliston Town. And this week they face Kington Town. The game of the day for me is Worcester Raiders against Old Wolfrunians. That's second against third. And they both need to be picking up points if they're going to keep close to Newport, who are on such a good run of form. And I'll be interested to hear what's happening at Newport, because they've already started tweeting, anybody know anything about ground sharing? Basically because I don't think their ground is good enough for promotion. So they're obviously looking at options for moving into the West Midlands Regional League Premier Division. If anyone from Newport's watching, get in touch. We'd love to come and have a chat. Into Division 2 of the West Midlands Regional League. And I have to hold my hands up here. I actually feel quite guilty about this, because ever since I've been talking to the people at Seek Hunters Football Club, they seem to be on a bit of a downer. And they lost their unbeaten record last weekend, losing 2-1 to AFC Bilbrook. They'll be wanting to put that right. Warstone Wanderers, again, a team I mentioned last week, they're the ones to watch. They're up to second. They beat Wondervolts 5-1. Two games of note this week, and it features the four sides I've just mentioned. Warstone Wanderers at home to AFC Bilbrook, and Wondervolts at home to Seek Hunters. Again, I think Warstone Wanderers are scoring goals. They're going to be up there. Two good games there in the West Midlands Regional League. That's pretty much it for Jumpers of Goalpost number 12. I can't believe it's number 12. How did we get this far? and we're still going. Keep the clips coming, please. Next week we'll be bringing you the results of Goal of the Month. Yes, we all know which one it'll be, but I'm going to bring you the results anyway. And Save of the Month, sponsored by Sports Jam. So we'll have those results next week. I'm not putting it out to a public vote because you'll all vote for your club. And you know you will. So I'm voting for it myself. But that's coming next week. I was hoping to show a couple of penalty saves. In fact, I may be showing one. But Kozel Town, great penalty save there. 3 great penalty saves by Reece Francis for Bromsgrove Sporting. But guys, you're supposed to send me the links and haven't done. So what am I going to do? I'm going to leave you with that cracking goal from Ryan Edmonds for Kozel Town. Until next week, ta-ra.
You know, had a throw in level with the penalty area, they've wasted it. Racing down that left-hand side now. What a run this is. What a run. Still going, still going, still going. Oh, that is magic. My goodness.
Why did someone else go across?